Georgia State! We're sitting here again talking about the same things.
Well, week 9 has officially concluded, and with its conclusion, we have many, many new things coming our way. The ACC and the Big 12 continue to finalize themselves. There's only one remaining team undefeated in both conferences. The SEC is continuing to pile on with more and more losses for each team. The G5 is absolute mayhem with the downfall of South Florida. There's absolutely no telling which pile of crap is going to somehow make it to the playoffs there. And then, of course, a specific Burger King in Baton Rouge has fallen. We're going to get into it and everything more here on everyone's favorite college football show, featuring a whole lot of FBS. And it's not the FBS you're thinking of. Red, why don't you tell them what this show stands for?
Yeah, so it stands for Fat Bastards Situations. No, I'm just kidding. It's fucking bullshit. And let me tell you, Squid, this week was, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Nothing fucking happened this week. Ohio State didn't play. I was kind of absent the whole time, and I just heard like little rumblings like Indiana beat UCLA, and it was a really run-of-the-mill week. Yeah, okay, I'm fucking with you. Of course, I'm popping the cigar out for this fucking thing because you know who is gone, motherfucker. Let's go. It was a great weekend, like an absolutely legendary weekend. There was a couple of things that happened that would have absolutely broken college football, I think, that we'll get into. But it just, damn. That's all I got to say from this weekend. Just fucking damn. And also, fuck me, because I am dying over here on my fucking video this week. And it's going to be long. I got like 5 or 7 minutes set aside just to talk about you know what.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to get into it and all tonight. A lot happened, as always, in week 9 of the college football season. We have, not to mention, along with everything else, we have our first Power 5 fallen squads that have fallen to the ranks of the garbage and will not be going bowling this year. We're going to talk about that too. But I guess we got to start out. There's nowhere else. Red, to me, I feel there's nowhere else to start than a celebratory moment in college football. You know what I mean?
Yes,
you know what I mean?
I agree.
Where else can you start other than knowing that this era is over? It's over. It's all over. I don't know if he'll be back, but for now, he gone. Brian Kelly has officially been canned from LSU as of last night. And I think a lot of people are very happy about it, especially LSU fans. A lot of college football fans are happy about it because they don't like the guy. And here's Exhibit A as to why LSU fans do not like this man. Yeah. In fact, I even set up a little soundboard for tonight.
We're sitting here again talking about the same things.
There you go. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. Well, we aren't talking about the same things tonight.
This is a new thing, considering that he's not going to have the same old shit to talk about every week since he's going home back to his fucking beach in Boston.
Yeah, right. Damn. Look, here's some super chats to start us out. Jake Evans with the 10 says, hey, y'all, let's rank the Power 4 head coach openings for next season. Might as well loop in Auburn as well. You think, beyond anything else, you got to feel bad for Auburn fans. You really do. Because Hugh Freeze has somehow outlasted both Billy Napier and Brian Kelly, and they still have no interest in firing the man. The only thing they can take credit in the fact is that somehow Mark Stoops hasn't been fired yet. So at least there's 2 stupid people you can look at, not just one.
I mean, it's literally like him looking around being like, why am I still here? How am I still here? None of this
Nobody
makes
else
sense.
knows.
I've done everything to get out of here, and y'all won't let me fucking leave.
No kidding. Kevin with the 10 says, thank God that Brian Kelly is gone from LSU. Now let's hope nobody would be stupid enough to hire him elsewhere.
Nah, there will be. I can think of a couple of schools off the top of my head that are going to be dumb enough to at least give him an offer, or at least
I've got a badger or 2 to sell you there. That's all I can say.
The whole thing or the belt?
with the 2 says BKKAK. If you know, you know. We can't say it on here, obviously. Yeah, I think of all things right now in this situation, nobody feels more vindicated and happy about how things have gone other than Notre Dame fans. Because here we are now, all throughout 2020, like think about it. Because when this first started, when BK first got the job over at LSU, Notre Dame goes out, loses to Marshall back in the 22 season. Everybody's like, oh, well, looks like LSU upgraded, and Marcus Freeman has no idea what he's doing. Well, here we are 3 years later. One played for the national championship just a couple of months ago, and the other just got fired. So I feel like Notre Dame fans have to be very vindicated about how this has all gone on for them. And you
not just Notre Dame fans, but also fans of Central Michigan and Cincinnati, where he went before and fucked off like a coward in the middle of the night to go to the next level. I mean, it wasn't like he left admirably or anything like that in Cincinnati years and years ago. He literally did a fucking Baltimore Colts and just pulled out the Mayflower truck at 12 o'clock in the morning and peeled out of town before their fucking BCS game against Florida. So I'm not. I've always hated Brian Kelly. I've always thought he was a sniveling shit. The lowest scum right there on the bottom of the grease trap next to Bobby fucking Petrino. But you know what? It's not just Notre Dame, because at least at Notre Dame, he did take them to the BCS national title once. He did have an undefeated season with Notre Dame once, even though the NCAA tried to wipe it from the record books because they recruited illegally.
You look at that schedule and you know why.
Yeah, I know. I think the hardest team they played all season was like USC or some shit like that. And
it's like what he does every. It's like James Franklin syndrome. Every time he gets into a big game, everything they ever knew about football suddenly disappears from their heads. It's the reason why Notre Dame has been so successful under BK and why he was one of the most winningest coaches there, is because he played a bunch of really bad teams at a conference, and he played some good ones, beat some good ones too. And you got to give him credit where it's due. I mean, even at LSU, he beat Alabama back in 22 off of that 2-point conversion. He's gotten lucky a few times and gotten some key wins for both teams. But whenever it counted the most, he always found a way, not just to lose, because that's the thing. James Franklin could lose big games. This dude, BK, he gets beat. And not just beat, he gets annihilated off the face of the earth. And we saw it time and time again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you're absolutely right. I mean, and the one thing that I also want to just talk about this again, I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say this up front because I don't want to get in trouble for like libel or something. So, in my opinion, Brian Kelly is a fucking coward. Because the one thing that I heard yesterday when he got fired, like not too long after, is he got fired after wanting to have one of his offensive coordinators or his offensive line coach fired alongside the offensive coordinator after that game against A&M. He always tries to take the first man that he sees and tries to set up his subordinates to fail just so he can throw them under the fucking bus when all is said and done, so he can go back to having his wine tastings, sitting on the beach when he's supposed to be out recruiting and just fucking lazing around and just trying to make do with his fucking millions and millions of dollars. It's disgusting. It is the slimy. Head coaches are supposed to be leaders of men. They're supposed to be figures that you can follow, be proud of, damn near worship. You should be kissing the ground they step on at college football. Not saying that's how you should be with everybody, but every head coach should aspire to be at that level. Your Bear Bryants, your Woody Hayeses, your Bo Schembechlers, all those fucking guys. What they were great at is they also had great assistant coaches that they mentored. Who the fuck in the Brian Kelly system has ever come out of there that was ever successful, ever actually worth a shit, actually made it out of there, and when he became a head coach said, Brian Kelly helped me get to where I am today? Name one successful coach. Please Name one, because I don't know them. Maybe like I have a couple of guys here and there are like a 1 year, 2 year assistants or whatever the fuck, but you're never going to hear them say, "Oh, Brian Kelly was the fucking man that molded me into the man I am today. He told me all these valuable lessons and he really cared about me as a person." No, Brian Kelly cares about one man and one man only. Brian Kelly. He couldn't give a fuck about his players. He couldn't give a fuck about the assistants. He never gave a fuck about Louisiana to begin with his fake-ass Southern accent when he showed up the day he arrived to take the job. He is, without a doubt, the slimiest, greasiest piece of shit that was coaching in college football actively still, and we're better off without him.
Well, yeah. Well, there's your red rant for the day. I'll tell you that much. Wow.
My apologies. Again,
I will say this.
My opinion.
And I'm not gonna, because I've heard several things. The moment he got fired, a bunch of, players' dads spoke out. Like, for example, the kid who was in the hospital, I forget his name, one of the players on the team, his dad came out and said he never got a call or a text or anything from BK. But, like the other staffers reached out to him, everything like that, except for the main man himself. And then there's another story around Kyron Lacey's dad, who said that, the moment he passed, he never got a call or text from BK. But he did get reached out by the interim head coach, who is now taking over the position at LSU. He did hear a lot from him. So, I'm not saying any of that is true. I'm not saying any of it is false. But what we do know is that if there are continuous stories stacking on instead of just the one incident on itself, it makes it look really, really bad for BK is all I can say. Yeah. He did not have it his way for sure. And I guess we'll talk about the most recent incident, the incident that led to the eventual caning of Mr. BK. And that was, of course, the absolute obliteration that occurred in College Station 2.0 Saturday night. And I'll tell you what, beyond anything else, you never see that happen. What happened in Baton Rouge, you literally never see anything like that. I know Alabama has gone in there before and put the whooping on them, and then they do their whole roll type thing. But I've never seen a team and a fan base just completely take over Death Valley like that at night, ever. Like you see it sometimes at noon because, the LSU at noon and at 3:30 more often is a joke. Like, but when the lights go out in Death Valley, it's supposed to be the most intimidating environment in the country. Not to A&M. That second half, that literally looked like one of the top teams in the land beating down a bunch of frauds that aren't even worthy of bowl status. That's what that looked like to me. LSU just gave up. That's what it looked like to me. That third quarter came, and the moment they got that punt return touchdown, they had completely given up on not on just themselves, but also on the coach as well. And you had BK going around yelling at the other staffers, blaming them for everything. I think I realized in that moment what everybody else realized. It's over. Like that at that moment, I was like, there's no salvaging this era. There's nothing you can do to fix this. BK has got to go. And to their credit, LSU didn't play around. That's the thing about LSU is they're one of the only universities in the country. They're one of the only programs in the country to where if you want to stick around, you better have the resume to back it up, and you better have a love for the school. LSU is one of them. I mean, Tennessee is another, Ohio State too. Michigan is another, these prestigious universities. I mean, you could go around like to an extent. I mean, Georgia, Alabama, again, prestigious college football universities to where if you aren't successful in football at any capacity, you're done. You're out. We're not giving you any time, no matter what the buyout is. And BK's buyout is absolutely massive. It's the biggest in history. It's bigger than Jimbo's.
No, it's not. Jimbo Fisher's contract buyout was over $70 million. Brian Kelly's is around the $54 million range.
I thought it was 100. I thought the total was $100 million.
On the contract, everybody's given the number that it's like around that $54 million range. I don't know where the $100 million came from though. But regardless,
I've been hearing mixed because I hear $50 million, I hear $100 million from another source.
Well,
Nobody knows what they're talking about anymore.
Well, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about. It's because LSU currently doesn't have a leader on the football team or in the university itself. They don't have a school president at the moment. Their board of directors and their university board has been absolutely getting obliterated. You know who the fuck's running the university right now by default? The governor of Louisiana. No wonder they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And they came out, and I'm not going to get into politics because that's not what we do here, but politicians should not run universities, and they should definitely not run football programs. This is the same dipshit, by the way, that wanted a live tiger on the sidelines for an LSU game last year, in case you forgot about that fiasco.
They lost that game, too.
Yeah, they lost that fucking game, too. So, the governor is currently running the goddamn school. And the governor is coming out and saying how he wants to negotiate with Brian Kelly on the amount of the contract buyout, to which I laugh because, buddy, it's guaranteed in the contract. He doesn't have to negotiate if he doesn't want to. You're forced to pay the money. It just depends on how much installments you want to do. You're going to give the money away. It's just a matter of how quickly you're going to do it. So it's idiots running a circus at LSU right now when it comes to dealing with this whole fucking fiasco.
Well, I'll say this, because when looking at LSU and what they look like going into this year, I mean, the talent around them, LSU has always been a team they have immaculate talent all across. And the way they perform just looks like they just looked absolutely terrible. Garrett Nussmeier, obviously not the quarterback anybody hoped that he would be. The run game is absolutely atrocious, despite BK saying it was great, by the way. And that after that Florida game, somebody ripped him about the run game, and he said, "That was the best. We have a really good run game. Did you see that last play of the game? We have a great run game. Nothing is wrong with it. 60 total yards rushing. Yeah, but nothing's wrong with the run game." Yeah, right. So many may disagree with this, and at the end of the day, it's going to be my choice. There's still a lot of season left to be played, but I think LSU is, ironically, neck and neck with Penn State for clown of the season. They're right there with them. So we'll see how it goes. There's plenty of season to finalize that, but I think they'll be a finalist when all is said and done.
Yeah, I would say that's going to be a tough choice to make. I got to figure out, do I do a dumbass of the year for my channel? I wonder if we're going to get different results based on our communities, because my dumbass of this week is going to be Brian Kelly. Spoilers based on what the poll said. Although I do feel like that somebody needs to fire whoever the fuck designed the Miami uniforms, but we're getting off topic. Can we talk about Texas A&M for a second, though, directly? Because I know Brian Kelly got fired. I know LSU, fuck LSU. They're bad. They're terrible, blah, blah, blah. They fucking Brian Kelly, this and that. But can we talk about A&M and what the hell Mike Elko just did at Death Valley? Because holy fuck, dude. I'll be honest with you. I streamed the game live. I watched it live with the guys in the community, and I was – at first, I was shocked we were getting a bit of a shootout. I figured that we were going to get a defensive start because both teams have been struggling on offense at times. A&M slow starts in their games, not coming out and punching people right in the face right away. LSU, we all know that Nussmeier's regressed horribly this season. They both came out and they were beating the fuck out of each other and really just going to task. And then A&M started making mistakes. They started to let it slip away. A punt got blocked and knocked in the end zone for a safety. Touchdown LSU. LSU leads at the half. The battered Aggie syndrome commences. My buddy Bull left the stream and he couldn't watch anymore. A&M graduate. God. And then the third quarter happened. And A&M came out of the locker room looking like they just got a hot brand smacked on their ass because they just absolutely obliterated the Tigers. You talk about that punt return house call, that Casey Concepcion return. How about the 20 yards of offense LSU got held to in the third quarter? Completely destroyed. Like it was almost like the wrecking crew had been revived for the Aggies. And now they're 8-0 for the first time in like 34 years. First time they've won in Baton Rouge in 31 years. Top 3 in the nation. Definitely the SEC front runner. all the fire under their ass. Who the fuck's stopping A&M at this point? The only thing I would say is that if I was an A&M fan, I'd be concerned about the slow starts because as an Ohio State Buckeye, it's not impossible to win a national championship with a slow start, but you really got to cut that shit out if you're going to get anywhere.
Well, here's what I do know is that, A&M, spoilers, if you saw my top 25 I posted on Twitter, then you know this already, but A&M is my new number one team. Indiana, Ohio State are right behind, but right now A&M is my number one team. If they play like they did in that second half, any Saturday of any given week, they will win the game. That looked like a championship level caliber team right there.
Yes,
and I think half. A lot of that, you can talk about the offense, Mario Craver, and how good he's looked, but that defense, if they do that to anybody else in the country, they will probably win that game. And that's that's kind of been the story for me with all these top teams is that A&M, Indiana, Ohio State, 3 teams right now. Pick and choose which one is your top favorite. All 3 of those teams haven't been winning games due to high scoring offense, but rather defense is shutting down their opponents completely. And that's what happened with most of these games. I mean, Indiana did the same thing to UCLA. We'll talk about that in a moment. But that's been the story for me is these high caliber defenses that are just shutting down all of the opposition they play. And, you could point out the Arkansas game and how A&M let them walk up and down the field, but they've had several key performances this season where they have shut down their opposition completely. And that second half sort of proves it. So A&M right now sticks out to me as the number one team in the land. Could change later on down the line. Things always do change. I mean, Oregon was my number one for a little bit, and then Ohio State took over, and I thought about putting Indiana in that spot. It really doesn't matter. It's all polls at the end of the day, and there's only one poll that actually matters for these top teams, and that's the playoff poll, which we haven't even seen that yet, but we will soon. We're going to find out real soon.
November 4th is when that first playoff poll drops. I'm very curious to see what the committee is going to look like for that. I wouldn't say A&M is number one team in the nation, though, right now. Because, again, we get back to they had a great second half against LSU and went full scorched earth motherfucker on them. But second half, right? We got to do that all 60 minutes if we're going to win a national title for Aggie land over here. They can. They clearly have the ability to do so, but you got to play the whole 60. And then if you can do that, I'll say, okay, you're right. But
yeah, that's true.
Overall, well done, A&M. I tip my hat to you. Congrats.
Well, here's somebody who did play all 60 minutes. Indiana wiped out the good old Nico, and just as quick as the fire got hot for him, they won 3 in a row. People thought they might have had just a little bit of a shot of giving Indiana a scare. Nope. Both Mendozas absolutely wiped UCLA off the face of the earth, 56-6. UCLA just could not do anything. Nico reverted back to his natural state. And for the most part, it all came down to the fact that Indiana was just able to run all over them with everybody. Everybody got a little bit of a run game on good old UCLA's defense. And, of course, E.J. Williams looked really good. 2 touchdowns, 109 yards out of 5 receptions. But right now, Fernando Mendoza trying to compete for that spot in the Heisman Trophy, and he's right up there with Ty Simpson in that spot. So we're gonna keep watching over there. But you got any thoughts about this?
Kurt Signetti once again wipes his ass with his opponent's fucking jersey. It's another game of Indiana just taking their opponent to the woodshed. We've seen this a couple of times already this season against top talent. They did this against Illinois. And here they are doing this against UCLA. So a lot of people were saying, oh, well, UCLA has kind of gotten hot. They got a bit of a streak going. Who did they beat? They played October, Maryland. They played Northwestern. And then they played a clearly fraudulent Penn State. Yeah, I think that's the 3 teams that beat in a row. I can't remember exactly.
No, but Penn State's coming up soon, though. They unfortunately for the Nittany Lions, they got to play this team after they play your team. They got to play.
Yeah, I was talking about UCLA's opponents. They ripped off 3 wins in a row. But I know what you're saying. Yeah. Point is, UCLA ripped off 3 wins in a row. They ripped off 3 wins in a row against teams that they could arguably beat, even in their weakened state right now. Indiana is they're making a really great case as top dog in the Big Ten right now, and I've never thought I would say that sentence in my life when it came to football. I feel like we're like back in 2007, 2008, and it's Ohio State and Indiana near the top of the Big Ten conference in basketball. But for football, this is an anomaly. We're on a collision course with them right now, Ohio State. They were off this week, but we're on a collision course with Indiana right now. Nobody else in the Big Ten is able to touch these two teams right now. And that is incredible to think about. A massive 18-team conference spanning the entire nation. And just these two fucking teams, Ohio State and Indiana, they're the ones that are the cream of the crop of the entire fucking conference. They're the ones that are going to wipe their asses with everybody the rest of the way. Please, I swear to God, if it loses to Michigan, I'm going to fucking riot. It's gonna be interesting. I think I'm gonna be curious to see if Indiana can continue this the whole way.
Yeah.
Yes, honey. I know you love your Hoosiers.
Yeah. Real quick, can we talk about how interesting the coaching carousel is going to be this year? Think about this for a second, because I want to talk about LSU for a second.
Yes.
Again, we talked about how important the LSU job is, how such a prestigious job it is to have. And BK obviously didn't respect that. But now that the job is open, their arms are open for anybody, I imagine. And whichever person they give it to, oh boy. But who's it going to be is the question we're all asking. And people are saying Kiffin. People are saying Lane Kiffin, but I'm not so sure anymore.
Well, people were saying Lane Kiffin about Florida too, and they were saying Lane Kiffin about one of those. They're saying Lane Kiffin about both those schools. I'll say this again. I've said this again a couple of weeks ago. I said it last week. I'll say it again. If Ole Miss makes the playoffs, which by every metric, based on how they're playing, they should, he's not going anywhere. He'll stay right there in Mississippi, because he's continuing to build upon what he's got there. So I'm just, Mississippi will happily pay him the fucking money to stay. They'll match whatever offer any other school is trying to give him if it means keeping him there. And Ole Miss is making the playoffs. But if they don't make the playoffs, kiss them goodbye. I would say that. You know what I think would be like, you got to look at like who the top prospect I think is right now for the head coaching position anywhere, like who I think the hottest coach is. It's got to be Alex Golesh, I think his name is, from USF. Golesh, yeah.
That's my man.
Golesh
former Tennessee Volunteer right there.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job turning around the Bulls in South Florida. It would not surprise me. If one of these top jobs that have opened up give a serious look at what Golesh has done at South Florida. I would say Virginia Tech especially would be one to call his name. Oregon State, potentially. Penn State. I mean, Penn State could definitely be calling his ass up. Florida might want to look in their backyard to find their replacement too. It's the American. It's not like Sun Belt, Billy. You can have American Alex Golesh, which is ironic considering he's actually Russian. But still, like I think that's like, if you're looking at all the potential candidates right now for a head coach, I think he's number one. And I'm not even looking at any of the goddamn coaches that were just fired, because they carry baggage now after their failures at the big ass schools. James Franklin's going to carry baggage. Brian Kelly especially is going to carry baggage. Billy Napier, those three, it would not surprise me if they end up if they all end up as offensive coordinators for some other team next season, just to get their shit together. Like, that's how I feel like it's going to end up happening.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's definitely a little overwhelming to think about, because think about all the jobs that are open right now. Arkansas, which, who knows if they'll keep Petrino, if they're forced.
They're going to keep Petrino a lot.
I don't know. I don't know. After that performance against Auburn, I'm not so sure anymore. I think they might clean house.
That school's dumb as rocks, but anyway, continue.
Who knows? But Florida's open. But now that Billy Napier is gone, Florida, Penn State, LSU. A lot of these big-time jobs, Virginia Tech, and they're talking about possibly the idea of them trying to snag Shane Beamer from South Carolina and bring him over there. Then if that's possible, then South Carolina's open. I mean, there's so many possibilities of how this is going to go down. And I think something tells me there's going to be some hearts broken at the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. The day after the end of the regular season, it's going to be a fucking bloodbath. That's Sunday after.
Randgav248, appreciate the 20, says, as a Tallahassee native, I will say this. If FSU loses homecoming to Wake Forest, a classic trap game for them off a bye week, add Norvell to the carousel. I don't think they're getting rid of him that quick. I think they're going to wait until the season's over.
Yeah,
I think they're going to wait until I think they're going to wait. They're going to do like what West Virginia did to Neil Brown, I think. Wait until the final regular season game, and if things don't pan out the way they want it to, then I think they'll get rid of Norvell. And then in that case, Florida State's also open. And if that does happen, that's where I think Alex Golesh is heading. I don't think they're going to I don't think they're going to promote Malzahn. I don't. I could see it, but I doubt it.
No. The one thing I listened to the College Game Day podcast, and I can't remember who said this, but he made a good point, and he said that as the NIL era of college football continues to soldier on, you're starting to see all these great names of the past coaches, James Franklin, Brian Kelly. Those, you're going through guys that have been hanging around since, before NIL became a thing. One by one, every single one of them have fallen off of their perch because they just cannot adapt to the modern game. That's the other reason why I'm saying that these guys might just end up being coordinators somewhere next year because they got to relearn how to fucking coach in this game. Dabo Sweeney's hanging on for goddamn life. Clemson is about as irrelevant as anybody right now. I didn't even know they fucking lost to SMU last weekend until I was making my video. So, these coaches, man, you got to get coaches that are up and coming and successful now. The guys that are winning games now. You can't just rely on old names anymore. The guys that succeed today are the guys winning national championships tomorrow because those are the guys that know how to play the system. Brian Kelly, James Franklin, they don't know fucking shit about this system.
Well, I don't know. James Franklin did for a minute there. And then the wheels fell off. But while we're on the topic of coaches, of all the things that have surprised me, how in the hell I got to be shit out of my own ass on this one. How does this guy still have a job? No, genuinely. How in the world does Luke Fickell still have a job at Wisconsin? They have scored they've scored one offensive touchdown in like the past 5 games. Their offense is a total joke. How in the world does he still have a job? What else is for you. Wow. Please do.
They're injured to hell. They have the 4th toughest schedule in the nation. And the administration already came out publicly and said they were going to back it. That's no. You can cry at me all you want, you motherfucker, but that's the reason. That's why.
Yeah, no, I would go back on my promise immediately. I don't care how many injuries you've got. You're 0-5 in the Big Ten. You've scored one daggum offensive touchdown. At least the last 4 games, you've gotten shut out in the past 2, except for this one. You scored a touchdown. Woo! The offense is a complete and utter joke. Everything about this team is a failure. It is a complete failure. The wheels have gone off completely. They've given up on the team. Why in the world are you still keeping them around? I don't care what promises you made. This isn't football. This is just a public execution every week. You gotta change your game plan here. Do something. Fight back in some capacity. This is awful. This ain't football.
I'm gonna see who they have left on their schedule. See if there's a winnable game for them somewhere in here. That's what I'm curious.
Much appreciated. Says firing is a fickle thing. I get it.
Tee fucking he. We are funny in here.
Like this doesn't make any sense to me. This is like, you know what this is like? This is like trying to buy a house and you've got negative $2 in your bank account. What sense does this make? What are they doing here? There's no reason to keep him at this point. There's no comeback arc that's happening. You're 0-5 in the conference, 2-6 overall. I don't care how difficult your schedule is. Good teams find a way to win games, and somewhat respectable teams find a way to win a game every once in a while. You haven't won a who of a ha since I can't even remember. That's how long it's been.
I knew that Wisconsin was going to be dog shit coming into the season. I just didn't think they were going to get so injured to hell. I look back at the results so far this season. The 2 wins they have are against Miami of Ohio and Middle Tennessee. After that, the winnable games I thought they had a chance in, Maryland, destroyed. Fucking Iowa, shut out. And then, Minnesota? We'll have to wait and see. That's the last one of the season. They got 4 games left. Washington, Indiana, Illinois, Minnesota. They might win one of those games. I mean, might, because it's the fucking, it's for the axe. So rivalries immediately, you throw out the records. But Wisconsin's on the 2-10 train. They're riding that fucker hard straight to the oblivion, dude. It's gonna be bad. The fallout is going to be massive. I think the main reason why they're hanging on to Fickle at this point is because this team is so goddamn destroyed. They just need somebody that'll keep all the pieces together until they get to the end of the season, and then they'll toss his ass out on the side of the street. What good would it do to fire Luke Fickle right now? Exactly. You're going
to get on the coaching carousel early, because if you wait until the end of December, there's not going to be many options left. Everybody else is already going to have their guy.
Yeah, but do you really think that anybody on the coaching carousel right now is going to come to fucking Wisconsin? You're going to have to bring in somebody else.
No,
it's not going to be Brian Kelly. It's not going to be James Franklin. It's not going to be Shane Beamer.
No, I don't think it will be either.
None of those guys.
It's a more respectable job than many, many teams that have already fired their coaches. I think Wisconsin's a better job right now than Virginia.
Illinois is better than Wisconsin right now.
Well, Illinois never fired their coach. Illinois never fired their coach. You think Burt Bielema's getting fired? What are we talking about here? Illinois never fired their coach.
Season in two decades.
They never fired their coach. We're talking about coaches that have fired that are fired right now. You think they're firing Burt Bielema?
They fucking should, honestly. It's just not going to get 10 wins.
Oh my god. We need to fire Ryan Day for losing to Michigan 4 years in a row. All right,
fuck you.
Let's move on here. I would talk about your game, but you beat the bye week. Something Kent, or I almost said Kent State. Something Penn State can't. They can't beat no bye week.
Undefeated against the bye week since 2020. Fuck you, COVID.
Nice. Kevin with the 5 says, let's be real here, Squid. Wisconsin's doomed no matter what happens. Why bother with the hope? Because at the bare minimum, they can at least get started on the coaching carousel early instead of waiting until there are no options left and then picking up some random jabroni from the group of 5 and then repeat the same cycle over and over again. Oh, get it. I really don't.
Oh, God. I love it when you and I argue about our opinions, man. It's so fun. It's so funny and so entertaining because I'm just spewing a bunch of bullshit. Then you start spewing a bunch of bullshit. And next thing we know, we're talking about how Illinois is the superior team to Wisconsin. It's fucking beautiful. This is the bullshit. This is the report of which we talk about fucking bullshit. So fucking bullshit.
Where else? You know what I mean? Where else? Anyway, we'll get into the segment of which College Game Day attended, because we live in a reality where Vanderbilt's sitting here around as a top 10 team. And not only that, but they backed it up. Won at home against Mizzou 17-10. The defense carried most of the weight, kept Hardy Ball to at least a minimum level. He did have 97 yards, but he didn't have 200-something yards rushing, because if he did, guarantee you this would have been a loss on their end. But they did pull out the W, despite the uglier performance on offense. Diego Pavia, this is certainly was not his best game. It wasn't a game worthy of showing up in the press conference with chains on him, I'll tell you that much. But that's, a win's a win at the end of the day, and Vandy doesn't receive many of those except for this year, so take for that what it is. Viper Technician's been a member for 3 months. He says Scotty Walden to Wisconsin. Oh, Jesus. Oh, boy. Wouldn't that be a something?
That would be something.
But yeah, anyway, Vandy in the top 10, now number 9 in the nation. What you think about that?
That was a gritty ass game what the Commodores just pulled off. First off, Commodores you did Diego Pavia, not Diego, Mizzou's quarterback. God damn it. The brain fart. Somebody, Bo Prabula. You did Bo Prabula dirty, twisting his fucking leg and tearing his tendons like that.
Now they're down to their third string.
Yeah, whoever did that on Vanderbilt's defense, fuck you. That is some dirty ass bullshit. You should always be wanting to beat the player fair and square, not beat the player by trying to tear him apart. That is fucking bullshit. But besides that one motherfucker, Vanderbilt was great. The grit and determination that team showed me on Saturday, it's a beautiful thing to see that the lesson they learned against Alabama continues to carry in week after week, and they continue to build off of that. They got a little too big for their britches when they faced Alabama last time. They got a little too cocky, everything that was going on. They made it a big deal because the College Game Day went to Tuscaloosa because of them. Yeah, cool. And then they got beat. And then they went home, and they had a self moment in the mirror, and they really stared each other down. They said, motherfucker, we are the goddamn Commodores, and that means something now. Come out, smack around BK. Come out, get a gritty win against an arguably really good Mizzou team. Oh, man, I got nothing but great things to say about Vanderbilt, man. Like, they're the real deal. They genuinely, if a few things go their way, they could be playing for an SEC championship. And as long as they went out, dude, I mean, shit, playoffs are definitely within striking distance for the Commodores at this point, which having a home playoff game hosted at that place, that'd be nuts, wouldn't it?
Absolutely would be nuts. And something to think about here is that Vandy's schedule the rest of the way is very, very manageable. It looks more manageable as the weeks go by. So, they have to face Texas on the road next week, which that's probably one of their harder games, obviously.
Yeah,
we'll talk
that's
about
gonna
that.
be a test.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Don't worry. But after that, they've got Auburn and Kentucky. Very easy. I think those are games Vandy can easily win if they are as good as advertised. And then, Red, tell me this. You wouldn't mind us taking College Game Day from you, would you? You wouldn't mind that, right?
Nah, you fuckers can have it.
Yeah, no, we've seen way too many Ohio State Michigan game days.
Big Noon is gonna want to,
yeah.
Big Noon's gonna want to take that fucking game anyway. It don't matter. Fox is already gonna be all over it, just drooling and just sucking us off. Doing Big Noon. So like, it's y'all can fucking have College Game Day. It's look.
Cool. I made a bold prediction
last show. It's
right,
cool.
Right. I made a bold prediction though before the season began, saying when week 14 came by and they got to that point in the season, College Game Day would go somewhere other than the game between Ohio State and Michigan. And well, my idea was that it was going to be the Palmetto Bowl, but both South Carolina and Clemson are absolute dog water now. That one fell through. But if both teams, both Vandy and Tennessee, do what they're supposed to do, it's not impossible to see them go to Knoxville. And I guess we'll touch on this for a second.
Tennessee and a one-loss Vanderbilt playing each other is gonna feed college football fans for fucking years, dude.
Well, that's a play-in game right there. Whichever team wins that ball game is heading to the playoffs.
Fuck yeah, it would be.
That is if both teams do what they're supposed to do. If Vandy drops a game, like between Texas or Kentucky or Texas, Kentucky, or Texas, Auburn, or that pile of aids right there, which I don't think that's happening, then, that's that probably still could be a play. Maybe Tennessee could drop one too. Don't you forget that. Because, boy, our defense is an absolute daggum mess. Now, we did win the game. Thankfully did win the game off of the arms of Joey Aguilar, 400 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, an absolute beast. Chris Brazzell, in my opinion, one of the leading wide receivers for the Bolitnikoff. Mike Matthews and Braylon Staley right behind him. Just really, really good performances from the wide receivers. The defense is a dadgum mess, and it's getting worse progressively every single week. I was right, by the way, because people said, "Oh, Cutter Boley sucks. Cutter Boley's terrible. He's gonna get like maybe 100 yards against Tennessee if he's lucky." Dadgum, 330 yards, 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns Cutter Boley had against Tennessee. Worst quarterback in the SEC, by the way. 5 touchdowns, dadgum, 330 yards. absolutely inexcusable no matter which personnel you have on defense. And it was the same. It's the same problem as always. I had a rant about this last week, so I'm not going to touch on it any further. But it's that dadgum scooping crap again, where they're going after the legs. And I'm not going to get into it again because I'd be screaming here for hours on end about it. But it's not going to happen because we're 6-2, and that's a record Tennessee fans would have died for. We would have literally, inhaled cactuses for this type of record back in the days of Derek Dooley and Butch Jones. But that's the point being that this is absolutely inexcusable for a defense as talented as we are. And the whole scooping the legs thing, something that I've noticed as the weeks have progressed, is that you never, ever see this tackling problem. You never see that type of problem with the defensive line. The defensive line wraps people up. They throw them down to the ground no matter where they are or where they're at in the field. The edge rushers aren't even that big, and no matter who they're up against, they always try to wrap them up or at least tackle the right way. You never see it with the defensive backfield. And now, so I'm starting it because Rodney Garner's a great coach. I've never had any problems with Rodney Garner. He's one of the greatest guys on the Tennessee defensive staff. Tim Banks is an absolute clown. So is Willie Martinez. There's absolutely no reason that either of these guys should have a job at Tennessee. In my opinion, we should get rid of both of them, but I know that's not going to happen. Not until we absolutely suck again, which who knows when that day will come. But yeah, anyway, inexcusable performance by Tennessee's defense. That being said, as good as Kentucky's offense was, their defense was just an absolute mess as well. And I think you can contribute that to the fact that Mark Stoops is out of his league as well. They're in the same place Luke Fickell's in right now at Wisconsin. Too stubborn to get rid of their coach. And part of the reason for Kentucky, the reasoning behind that is that he's been there for so long. He's gotten them to highs that they've never felt before. But now they've gotten to such lows that it's a point that Joker Phillips might be a better alternative. They're getting him right back down to the Joker Phillips era. It's right there. Literally right there. They keep losing the way they are, and they'll be right in that cycle again because they are absolutely terrible just all across the board. So I don't know what you think about it, Red, but yeah, if Kentucky had any sense, they'd go ahead and can this dude, but that's not happening. They're putting all their funding into basketball. He's probably going to stick around for the remainder of the season.
Oh, fuck. Where have I heard that before? Kentucky puts all their funding into basketball and completely neglects their football team. God. I heard a Bear once got a little bit angry over that and left Lexington because of it. I don't know. Something A&M. All right, look. Kentucky put up 34 points on Tennessee. I honestly didn't even realize until – because I completely skipped over this game this weekend. I just saw Tennessee beat Kentucky like, okay, it makes sense, and moved on. But I actually just now looking at that score, what the fuck? Like, it's not like they put up all their points in garbage time after the secondary was out there, the second string and the third string. They were scoring against their first stringers pretty consistently. If I was you, Squid, you got a right to be worried about the defense because Diego Pavia can chew your fucking defense up, spit it back out, and mold it into a fucking statue for his mama because he's going to absolutely rip this shit apart when you two play if it doesn't get together here real quick. Cutter Boley should not be anywhere near 300 yards passing with 5 touchdowns against the Tennessee Volunteers in 2025. That's fucking inexcusable. 100%. It's a Pyrrhic victory. You won, but Jesus Christ, the supports here are rotten.
Yeah, the offense has gotten it together, and I do give credit. I've given a lot of hell to Joey Hazel, our offensive coordinator. I give him a lot of credit for this one because he did whip out some really good plays here, really good play calls. The defense is an absolute joke, and I think part of it is due to the personnel because, again, we're down our 2 starting corners and Ricky Gibson and Jermod McCoy, and I'm hearing, again, just like the last 17 weeks, mixed things about him coming back. Maybe he won't, maybe he will, maybe he won't. You know how Heupel does with you know how he does. You never know what you're going to get, but it's got to change soon because at this point, we got 4 games left, 3 conference games left. Oklahoma's coming to town this week. We'll talk about that. Vandy, we got at the end of the year. Florida, in Gainesville. I think the season and where it lies is all going to depend on that game. So no reason talking about it any further. Just please field the defense next week. That's all I could ask. Maybe I don't know. We'll talk about it. Anyway, Lane Kiffin ball. Here's part of the reason why he hasn't left for Florida or LSU yet. Beat up on Oklahoma 34-26. Big road win for the Rebs. Trinidad Chambliss with a 315-yard game. Pretty good run day by Kawan Lacey. Nothing more you could ask for with Ole Miss. A sort of a collapsing drive at the end there by Oklahoma, similar to what they saw when Auburn played them. Just a drive where they just sort of flat out collapsed, couldn't get it together. John Mateer has looked decent. Like he looked okay in this game, but he just hasn't looked the same since his injury. I'm not sure what it is, but for whatever reason, Oklahoma just looks like half of the offense they were when the season began. Not sure what the deal is with that.
I'm not happy with either team, dude, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I kind of wrote – I'm going to tear apart both in my video this week a little bit, but it's not going to be long. It's just brief. First off, Oklahoma, we don't want to talk about Mateer. Why is he still out there playing? He's not playing at 100%. That's the only way I can really describe the fall off here. He broke his fucking hand. He came back too soon, and now Oklahoma is continuing to slide down the ladder because of it. Not that they have anybody better in the backups, don't get me wrong here. I think they're just playing with the best that they can, trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit here. But the slide continues for Oklahoma. But then you look at Ole Miss. Okay, yeah, they won the game, but they were down at the start of the fourth quarter. They were losing to Oklahoma. Oklahoma had come back. They scored 16 in the third, came back and took the lead. That is concerning because you know what happened last week against Georgia? They came back and they took the lead. And unlike Oklahoma, they had a defense that continued to keep Trinidad Chambliss down and an offense that put 17 fucking points up without a response. Oklahoma just doesn't have that. That's the only reason why Ole Miss won this game, because Ole Miss is not like they did the same shit, but Oklahoma is just a far less equipped team to handle a team like Ole Miss right now. And that immediately tells me that they're probably overrated. They're probably not as good as people are saying they are. They're probably not going to win all their games the rest of the way. They're going to slip. They're going to fall somewhere. I've been saying this all year. I'm waiting for Ole Miss to have their single embarrassing loss. Something's going to break. They're relying way too goddamn much on Trinidad Chambliss too. Way too goddamn much. I know Kewan Lacey's played well in that game, and he's played well other weeks. But like, if you shut down the run game against Ole Miss and just dare Trinidad Chambliss to beat you, he'll get a couple of touchdowns, but he's going to run out of gas. He can't run and carry the team on his own.
No, that is definitely true. There, cannot argue with that one. They've got problems. They've got a better. They're in a better spot than other teams like Tennessee. I will say that much because they can at least trust their defense to some capacity. But again, they can't put all of their cards on Chambliss. I do agree with that. And that is if they want to get where they want to go. Dub Gamers 22, and we're gonna hop to this next game based off this comment. Arizona State, you have to be the worst 7-1 team I ever lost to. Houston, but you did lose to me. Ain't that the truth? I don't know how they keep doing it, to be honest. It's you know what they are? They're passing the torch. Arizona State quite literally passed the torch to Houston because Arizona State was projected to be the worst team in the Big 12 going into 2024, and then they go and win the whole dang thing. Here's Houston at 7-1. They were projected to be one of the worst in the Big 12. And then, of course, here they are now, 4-1 in the Big 12. Connor Walgreens looking like an elite quarterback at the helm. Running all over these fools, passing all over them, doing whatever he wants to. And yet again, they win big. Now they're ranked. They have everything in front of them still. And as long as they continue to do what they're supposed to, we're going to see them in a rematch against Texas Tech for the Big 12 championship. It's going to be a very, very fun battle to witness. But Houston's a team that I think everybody should keep their eyes on. And, Arizona State, obviously, here's the thing about Arizona State, and I'll say this. Two completely different teams depending on who their quarterback is. The moment Sam Levitt went down, I knew that it was over for him. It was over for him the moment Jeff Sims got into that game, because Jeff Sims has been around for 100 years, and I think all the 100 years that he's played, he's somehow progressed and gotten worse through every single year. If he gets any worse than this, he might be forced to transfer down to the D4 level. I mean, this dude is – I don't know how. I legitimately do not know how Arizona State thought it was a good idea to make this guy their second string. I don't understand it. They could trot out a true freshman, I guarantee you, who outplayed Jeff Sims. I don't get it. I really, really don't. But yeah, there's your reasoning for that.
If Jeff Sims is their best backup quarterback, God help you if you have to go to your third string. That's all I'm going to say there. Yeah, Dumb Gamers was referencing a joke I made in my video last week where I played the Pirates of the Caribbean clip after I said the Houston Cougars are the worst 6-1 team I have seen all season. And then it was like, oh, you have heard of me. Yeah, I can no longer say that, although you're still not the best 7-1 team, I would say, on this list of teams that we've discussed today. But they definitely showed me something coming out against an Arizona State team that is good, that is very solid. They're not going to be a playoff team this year. They definitely have regressed compared to last year, but still a test. Came out best, and I'm happy to say I did not pick Houston to be bottom of the barrel. I knew that was always going to be Oklahoma State, but I did not pick them to be one of the worst. I just thought they were going to be a 500 at best. This is surprising the hell out of me. And Connor Wegman, the former A&M product, my God, he is having himself a hell of a year, coming out and shining for the Cougs. Now,
a funny little stat for you all. Sorry to cut you off there, but I do have a funny little stat. A&M's got 3 different quarterbacks starting right now. A&M had 3 different quarterbacks that are now starting at other schools between Haynes King, Connor Wegman, and Marcel Reed, who's of course still at A&M. The combined record with those 3 quarterbacks, they only have 1 loss. That is absolutely insane to think about right now.
Yeah,
all 3 of those quarterbacks, only 1 loss.
Yeah,
that is insane.
Jimbo Fisher masterclass, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
Dumb Gamers for 5. It's jinxed. Now it's time to pay for that West Virginia Hail Mary 2 years ago.
No, I doubt that. West Virginia is a dadgum mess.
Yeah,
anybody that loses to West Virginia this year, boy, they are terrible no matter what their record is. Pitt. All right. Anyway, I guess it's time to go ahead and give our little weekly shout outs before we progress on to week 10. We're already week 10. What are we doing? It's absolutely
big double
crazy.
digits. Yeah, what are we doing? I genuinely had to blink for a second, like, fuck, it's almost November. My God, where's the time going this season? I had a controversial comment on my channel the other night where I was like, I wish they made the regular season longer for college football. It's too goddamn short.
You're only saying that because by the time college football comes to a close, the NFL's still playing. And then we got to see whatever pile of AIDS between our pro teams. Because Lord knows I'd much rather watch Tennessee's defense on repeat than anything the New Orleans Saints trot out.
Don't get me started about shit.
I'd rather watch a dog turd dry than see anything the New Orleans Saints bring out onto the field each week. It's just as entertaining. Fog Velick with the 5 says, fun fact, 21 out of top 27 most viewed games before this past week had SEC teams. CBS effed up ditching SEC. By the way, Ohio State shouldn't be top 4 with their soft schedule. Ooh, you're gonna take that?
You trying to fuck me, bud? You trying to fucking piss me off tonight? Is that what you're trying to do? Soft schedule, sure. Okay. How many points have we given up on average per game this season? Less than a touchdown? Come on. Fight me. I will fight over that one. We might not have the hardest schedule this season, but we have the hardest defense in the nation. Mark my fucking words.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Wait,
sorry.
Pause.
Sorry.
What did I say?
Had a bit of had a bit of a choke job there. Almost like these clowns did. beat up on 4 different top 25 teams, and then can't put away an absolutely terrible South Carolina team. Almost blew it in humiliating fashion, but nonetheless, Alabama does hang on, beats the Gamecocks off of probably the most goofiest move I've ever seen Shane Beamer do. And that's when going ahead and letting Alabama score instead of trying to hold them to a field goal. Because you hold them to 3, you know, you can at least block it. There's still an opportunity there. Letting them score means now you've got to try it all the way down the field, and Alabama's defense obviously did not go the way you were hoping for. Now you're down to 3 and 5. The pressure is especially on you now. I mean, I don't get it. It makes no sense to me. Why in the world would you let Jermaine Bernard score that touchdown? Because now you've got a minute to take your Mike Shula offense and trot all the way down the field. That was never going to go your way. So, of course, that's how you lost.
Yeah. I am just pissed at South Carolina for not keeping it together long enough to actually get the job done. I mean, they had a chance. They gave themselves a hell of a chance in this game. They played – their defense did about as well as they could against Ty Simpson and company. They held Alabama to a fairly low-scoring affair through about 55 minutes of this ball game here. And they had to frantically panic to try to win this fucking thing. But this is where having a mobile quarterback can be a blessing and a curse. Quarterbacks don't always have the best hands in the game when it comes to running the ball, and that absolutely showed when Lenora Sellers dropped the ball against Bama late in the game in their own territory. We were so close to having the best weekend of college football of all time, and the Gamecocks just could not rise to the occasion.
No.
Yeah, I know. Shame on us for trusting in Shane Beamer. We didn't have a choice. He happened to be the one fucker playing Alabama this week. We hoped against hope he could do it, and he could not.
There was only one Cocktober, and that was in the porta potty. If you know, you know. That's
what the fuck? Huh?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was one of the poor souls who had to witness that, just like every other college football personality on YouTube.
How
yeah,
many college football personalities even are there anymore? Anyways.
Enough to where you know about the porta potty incident just based on that alone.
I don't fucking know about the porta potty incident. Can you share on stream?
No, I cannot.
Tell me when we're done. Because I kind of want to know now. I have
if
no
you want to
idea
put it on, if you want to put it on your channel, then by all means. But good luck having a channel afterwards.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You're telling me after the show, motherfucker. You're telling me now. Okay. Join my Discord if you want to know what the porta potty incident is. I'll tell everybody later.
Okay, great. Yeah, trust me. It's probably the most infamous thing I've seen South Carolina do in a very, very long time. But okay. Anyway, shout out to Virginia Tech for knocking down the Calgorithm. I would say the Calgorithm died, but yet again, was it ever alive to begin with? No, it wasn't really. I was. JKS is such a good talent, and I feel like he's getting screwed over by all of his wide receivers. Literally, they cannot catch a cold minus Jacob the Jesus. That's it. So shout out to Kyron Jones for being good enough to knock out Cal and Golden in the Golden Light chaos overtime.
Yeah, the Golden. I mean, this was more like the Golden Rain right here because Cal played like piss in this one.
Oh,
they came out and they pissed themselves in Blacksburg. With the loud ass fans still showing up for their team and, poor season with no coach. Shout out to Virginia Tech for sure and their fans because, I mean, that's dedication. That's loyalty. Some people also say it's boredom. Like, what the fuck is there to do in Blacksburg on a Friday night besides go to a Virginia Tech football game? But, right. I mean, if they suck, there's better uses of our time. I mean, Netflix exists, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, Springtime 0502 with the 5 says it's a shame when the Gamecocks can't rise to the occasion. Oh, yeah. They surely didn't. They went full flat in that game.
They needed a little bit of enhancement.
Yeah. Anyway,
We're treading on dangerous waters now.
Yeah, we really are. Shout out to 8-0 Georgia Tech, full control of the ACC still after the big win over Syracuse, blowout fashion. It's about what you would have expected. Georgia Tech goes in there, takes care of business. Syracuse has no quarterback to trot out on the field, so all Haynes King had to do was do what he does best, and that's run all over them fools, plus the 300-yard passing game. Basically exactly as you would expect. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of slow starts, you want to talk about Miami for a second. Shout out to the Canes. While they don't have control of the ACC, they're right there behind Tech. Took them a while to get started. Stanford looked like they could potentially do something, but then, as you would have expected, Miami, started rolling all over them. The trees eventually got cut down.
Yeah,
and the Canes prevail.
By the way, whoever designed the Miami jerseys, fuck you. Fuck you.
That is true.
Who the fuck thought having camouflage so good on the field that it would fuck with the on-screen graphics and make it harder for the fans to see the fucking players was a good idea.
That looked like the daggum swamp green uniforms Florida trotted out. Those things,
I remember those things.
Vomit.
Motherfuckers. God, like what part of Miami Hurricanes does it say when they come out looking like a bunch of fucking Marines that thought there was a football game on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Shout out to the Tropical Storms of Iowa State, full-on choke session this week against BYU. So really shout out to the Cougars. 41-27 win over Iowa State. They're 8-0. They have full control over the Big 12. Don't think anybody would have expected that, but the Bear continues to roll, and the Mormons prevail at 8-0. They will continue to rule over the Big 12 until proven otherwise.
This is what happens when you let a bunch of Mormons get a hold of a fucking aggressive bear. They unleash it on innocent civilians, and a lot of people are killed. Oh, I'm sorry. We're talking about football. BYU did good.
They did damn good. A big time comeback there to win this game, because it looked like Iowa State could give them a lot of trouble and that the Big 12 could just full on collapse. But thankfully they came back into the game, got it together. Cougars prevail in a game where, boy, oh boy, if they had lost, the Big 12 was just a complete shambles. Texas Tech, shout out to them. They're 7-1 off a win against Oklahoma State. And more importantly, shout out to Oklahoma State. As we have our first Power 4 bowl game elimination in the form of the Stillwater braid-eating amoebas of a 42-0 blowout loss to Texas Tech. They are officially the first team in the Power 4 to be eliminated from bowl eligibility. Tough luck, but hey, you're a man. You're 40.
Hey, listen, I only got one thing to say about the Oklahoma State Cowboys. A moment of silence, please. Thank you.
What the hell was that?
You don't fucking know.
No.
It's a goddamn, like, some Gregorian chant that I use for, like, my Notre Dame video, and whenever Notre Dame plays, it's a fucking bell, and then... Buddy, don't you watch my shit?
Clearly not enough, my bad.
Oh, God. You got homework now.
Yeah, no, I always have homework, buddy.
It's only an hour.
Wait till an hour. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I'll go back. Don't worry. I'll make sure I take my notes so I can learn all the redisms.
Zep, you're right. Okay, you're gonna have to hand over the Chick-fil-A right now. Hand it over.
I already drank it. Actually, even though it was Milkshake Monday, I did not have a milkshake today, so forgive me for that. My brain is running at 10% capacity. All right. Anyway, shout out to Virginia, and normally we wouldn't shout out Virginia for beating North Carolina by one daggum point in overtime, but it's a win. Win's a win for Virginia. I mean, we're talking about Virginia of all teams, so let's just give them credit where it's due. They won another game. They're 7-1, even though they very well could have lost to one of the biggest clowns of the year. But again, they won. That's all that counts.
Honey, rude.
Oh, wow. That's messed up.
Rude.
Kevin with the 5 says for Squid, it's saying in Latin, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ouch. That makes sense. All right. Shout out to this is very important, by the way. Shout out to Memphis. Memphis from the great state of Tennessee. Memphis goes and knocks down South Florida, takes them out, potentially in the playoff race if they do what they're supposed to. Now Memphis is right there in the front-running spot for playoff contention. If they went out, they could be that team. So keep an eye on Memphis. The G6 is... Anyway, the G5 is in full contention this year. You never really know what's going to happen. That was my sister. She keeps knocking down the door. She'll just kick down the door just during my streams. Just
where is the deodorant, brother?
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, where were we? Yeah, anyway, G6 in a complete scramble right now. Yeah, we don't really know where anything is. This show's gone off the rails.
Yeah.
Louisville's bowl eligible. Did you know that? 138-24 over Boston College. Still don't know why Bill O'Brien has a job. They're 1-7. BC's also eliminated from bowl contention after this one. So shout out to Boston College for being that bad that you get eliminated from bowl eligibility by week 9. Good job there. Bearcats. Cincinnati 7-1. Big one over Baylor, 41-20. Cincinnati keeps it rolling after that Nebraska loss. This is now 7 in a row for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, Cincinnati's been playing absolutely lights out. Absolutely lights out. I mean, everybody's in Cincinnati's just happy to have somebody to cheer for in football that's not the Bengals right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, I guess we got to talk about this, don't we?
Well, do we?
I tried to gloss over this because I didn't want to give them more pain, but what is wrong with y'all? What is wrong with you? What? Why? What is wrong with you?
With who? Both of them? There's something wrong with both of them, man. We know this.
There's something wrong with both of them. I can absolutely agree with you on that. But my Lord, there is something wrong with Mississippi State. You had him. I mean, there's no literally. You had him. If you had any sort of decent coaching ability, literally any sort of decent Jeff Lebby coaching job in this game was won. All they needed was one decent run of offense in the fourth quarter. That was other than the touchdown. And they had him. They had him. That's it just an absolutely terrible, agonizing way to go out for State. Very similar to how they lost to Tennessee. Very similar to how they lost some of their other games. And now here they are 0-4 in the SEC. Despite beating Arizona State. Does it add up? I don't know. You tell me. Not only did they lose, but they made Arch Manning look good in the process. 346 yards after 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
First time Arch Manning's thrown for more than 300 yards in a game since they played Sam Houston.
Well, there you go. That tells you everything you need to know.
You know what else is fucked? They made him look good, and then they tried to kill him in overtime. He got knocked in the head so hard he sat up and it fell right back over. Like, it was bad. But Mississippi State giving up 20, I think it was like 24 points in the fourth quarter total, or 24 points within a 20-minute period to Texas and just completely blowing it like that. Man, that is a choke that should be fatal to any football program, in my opinion. I don't care who you're playing. If you got your opponent on the ropes that badly, you got to finish the job, not absolutely give up like that happened. I'm so disappointed in you, State. You could have made Saturday so much better. You in South Carolina didn't get off the hook either. Fuck you too.
Yeah, no, I really, really do not understand. I just don't understand how they can fold that hard. It's absolutely crazy. But then again, it It's the Cowbell College. What else?
It's the cowbell. They only know one thing. Ding, 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 ding. That's it. That's all they fucking know.
Yeah. No kidding. Anyway, let's see. Here's your other shout outs of the week. Washington, now bowl eligible off of the win over number 23 Illinois 42-25. Jamal Williams, another great day by him. He had 4 touchdowns, 280 yards. Great day for Jamal Williams. More of the same for the Huskies. They continue to roll. Michigan, same thing. They go on the road, beat down a lowly Michigan State team, is now 0-5 in the Big Ten, by the way, 31-20. They didn't have a great quarterback experience, but they did more than enough. The Justice Haynes comeback arc comes in full clutch for the Wolverines, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sure you're real happy. I'm sure you're real happy about that. Hey, no, this is big news, by the way. This is huge news. Guess who's now bowl eligible? It's the second year in a row. The Cornhuskers. Well, yes, their ass. But hey, Nebraska is indeed bowl eligible for the second year in a row after grinding out a win at home against Northwestern. 28-21 final score of that. They may be terrible, but they do have that win over Cincinnati. Plus, they won 6 games. And they might lose.
Congratulations. Hey, by the way, didn't you lose by a fuck ton and give up 9 sacks against Minnesota?
Yep.
Enjoy the Music City Bowl.
Hey, but to be fair, Matt Rule's distracted. So.
Yeah. No shit, he's distracted. I thought he's still distracted. If not by Penn State, then by the fucking meal he's getting next. I'm sorry. What did I say? Anyway. That was harsh.
Shout out to Rutgers for winning in the most unseen for impossible way imaginable by letting the Soilermakers soil all over themselves, and then because Purdue had that game won. And then Rutgers pulled out the most ungodliest of comebacks at the end there, won the game 27-24. Purdue goes down to 0-5 in the Big Ten right there with Michigan State. Soilermakers 1 game away from being eliminated from bowl contention.
Purdue.
Sing. I like dancing.
I like trains.
You had that one ready to go. I'm impressed.
Yeah, you're thinking you're going to win the game, and then I like trains. Fuck off. Yeah. You're such a sack of shit. I can't wait to see you guys get your asses blasted, obliterated, decimated, fucking atomized against the Hoosiers in person here at the end of the season. Me and my girlfriend are going to go to that.
Yeah, speaking of trains, by the way, the Pony Express just ran out of tracks. Went down to Wake Forest of all teams. They had a huge ACC regular season streak up to this point, and it all came crashing down when they went on the road into Winston-Salem and went down to Wake Forest. So shout out to the Demon Deacons. Despite how terrible you think they are, despite how terrible you think Purdy, their new quarterback they've got out there, is, they're 5-2 right now and 1 game away from reaching that bowl eligible spot. So you got to give credit. You got to give credit to them.
Yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. The Demon Deeks, they're actually coming out this season and making a hell of an effort. Are they elite? No. Are they one of the top in the ACC? No. But you know what? I'm happy for Wake Forest. The traditional punching bag of the ACC, stretching back many decades. At one point, didn't make a bowl game from the 40s until like 1993 or whatever the fuck it was. Like, it is, I tip my hat to the Demon Deeks. You got one over on the hot new star of the ACC and SMU, which we all knew SMU was kind of regressed after the run they had last year, and they're rebuilding. But don't feel bad for SMU. They'll rise to the occasion again here very soon. They got so much fucking money in Dallas to play with NIL. It's not even funny.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, shout out to and I can't believe this, but shout out to Kansas State. I really thought this was going to be the year, but now I'm just fully convinced Kansas is never beating Kansas State again for as long as I live. So this is their 17th straight loss in the Sunflower Showdown against KSU. And not only was it a loss, but it was a beat down. Kansas State beat the ever-living hell out of them. Avery Johnson had a great day. Nobody on Kansas had a great day. It was just a just an outright dominant, disemboweling performance by Kansas State over their over the little brother. Or I guess now I don't even think that, because now it's at a point now where Kansas State isn't even their daddy anymore. They're straight up their grandpa or their great grandpa. This
work?
This isn't even a rivalry anymore.
How does that work? How does that work where you beat a team so hard so often they fall down a couple of generations below you? Like, it's not even like they're below you. Now they're like next to the fucking great grandchildren below you. Like, how the fuck does that work? Kansas had a great opportunity to take down probably the weakest Kansas State team we've seen in years. A team who is still struggling with the Irish curse, and completely imploded, shit themselves all over their shiny brand new stadium. How dare you, Kansas? How fucking dare you? I'd say enjoy the hardwood, but you're only doing too well in that right now either, are you? NIL's a bitch, ain't it?
Oh, yeah. No kidding. Good news is basketball is only 1 week away, so you get to choke in that too.
Yep.
Anyway.
And I get to not care.
Yeah. A whole lot of not caring. Yeah. Okay, real quick, last few shout-outs. Shout-out to Auburn. They beat Arkansas. A part of that was due to, of course, the Piggies self-mutilating themselves. Could be the end of the Bobby Petrino era before it even began. They might have to clean house after that one. That was a bad performance by the Razorbacks.
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, both Auburn and Arkansas should be firing people and rolling heads right now. After that, Auburn being down at the half, atrocious. And then Arkansas giving up the lead, atrocious. Fuck both of you.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of atrocious, you want to talk about a giant hole in that boat that they were rowing. Minnesota gets absolutely obliterated off the face of the earth by Iowa, who had 41 points, by the way. Daggum 41 points on Minnesota, 41-3, your final score there. Yeah, no, I think the boat itself just blew up. I don't even think it's just a hole anymore. It just vanished.
I think the Hawkeyes went full kamikaze right into the side of whatever boat the Minnesota was rowing because they blasted a massive hole in the side of it. It was ugly. Absolutely ugly. Iowa's not a playoff team. Don't start spreading that slander in the chat. Iowa's not a playoff team.
Yeah, Southern Miss is 6-2 too. So we can hold on that. Those Pitt, by the way, they beat up on NC State. TCU 6-2. They beat up on lowly West Virginia, who's 0-5 in the Big 12. And you know who else is 6-2? Utah, because they ended out the week absolutely disemboweling Colorado. My Lord, what happened in that game, Colorado?
It was like 43-0 at the half or some shit, I think.
Yeah.
Negative 18 yards of offense going into the half.
They looked like Colorado straight up did not know what they were doing in any capacity. It looked like Mia could go out there and perform better as the coach. And she's on record calling jerseys armor. And she'd do better. I don't know what Colorado was doing.
I want to say that Utah was just pissed after losing the Holy War, but that was beyond losing the goddamn Holy War. That was, someone done pissed in their Cheerios. That's all I'm going to say there.
Yep. Well, it makes me feel. It certainly makes Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter feel a little more vindicated about having their names up on in the stadium. And
Travis Hunter has nothing to feel vindicated over. He won the goddamn Heisman. He can have his name on the stadium. The guy that carried his bag.
Yeah, vindicated is not the right word. Yeah, no, it's more.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is that it makes a whole lot more sense.
Well, it was going to be a rebuild year in Colorado. Like, we all knew that they were going to be struggling this season after losing some star players. I mean, I give Shedeur shit, but he was a hell of a lot better of a quarterback than Caden Salter is. But then again, Caden Salter is also a project. He could be good. Maybe.
Give him time, man. Maybe he'll be able to do something or
yeah, like Arch Manning. I think he might become something one day.
Right. Anyway, we're already. I mean, I didn't realize we're running short on time here, so we're going to try and fly through some of these games. Of course, we're going to get an extended period of time to talk about them next week. But we might as well touch on some of them now. And I guess we'll start out with this noon kickoff game. And thank goodness it's a noon kickoff because Vandy needs all the hope they can get. the pressure is really high on them now that they're 7-1, number 9 in the country, going on the road into Austin to face off against Texas, who's just gotten bowl eligible. Who you got here, Red?
Yeah. Give me Vandy, and I'll tell you why. Texas, you completely shat yourselves against Mississippi State for 3 quarters. Arch Manning is still in concussion protocol. From my understanding, they could be playing with a backup quarterback. Give me Vanderbilt. Texas has been playing with fire all season long. They've gotten burnt twice by Ohio State and who else beat them? I can't remember off the top of my head. No, it wasn't Oklahoma. Who the fuck else beat Texas? Help me, Squid.
No, I'm just not going to help. Yeah, it's Florida.
What the fuck? You're letting me drown here like the fuck you go first?
Florida beat Texas. Florida beat them, and so did Ohio State. How do you not know your own team beat Texas?
I said Ohio State, motherfucker. I couldn't remember which one of the SEC teams beat them for a second. I'm
Billy
sorry.
Napier.
I'm sorry. Okay, brain fart. I've been up since 5 a.m. Fuck you. Okay,
but you ain't really there.
Give me Vanderbilt. Goddammit.
Anyway, yeah, great. All right. And I'm right there with you. I've got Vandy in this one. I think their offense outclasses Texas by a significant mileage, but I don't know if that'll be enough to get the job done because I think Texas defense will give them trouble where it's due, but I don't think it's going to be enough to make a difference. I think they'll hold on and get the job done. Also at noon, here's your, I guess, big ACC battles of the week. Miami and SMU. SMU has given quite a few teams a little bit of trouble. They do have a win over Clemson. And knowing the Canes, they're going to find a way to get into trouble with this one. They're coming in as 12.5-point favorites. You know, they're 6-1. They've got everything still ahead of them, but the pressure will be on in this one. Who you got?
Give me the Ponies. It's going to be early. No, it's November 1st. The time has come. Miami is already bursting into a ball of flames. You didn't run into a wall of fucking trees, which about to get stampeded by the cavalry. Give me the Ponies.
I love the enthusiasm, but I got the Canes here. I don't think they roll over SMU, but I think their defense will do enough to Kevin Jennings for Carson Beck to shine at least a little bit. He will throw an interception though. It's written in law. Carson Beck has to throw a pick in every single game. So. Yeah, no, there's no avoiding that. This is important for G5's sake. I know Memphis is in full control of their destiny. But in the case of them collapsing and falling, we do have 2 teams right here who are right there for the taking. Navy, who's 7-0, undefeated, versus North Texas, 7-1. Neither team might be ranked, but they have their destiny ahead of them. It's a very, very close call, I think. We've seen what North Texas has done against other military academies. They took Army to overtime. So it's tough for me to say. Very, very tough for me to say. The Mean Green are almost a touchdown favorite in this one. Who you got?
Give me Navy, and the reason why is because North Texas. Yeah, they play well against Army, but Army is fucking Army. They're trash. Navy has been able to come out and persevere in the face of some games against teams that have a similar competitive level in terms of conference play. Also, Mestamaker, he's played well most of the season, but he's still, not to abuse the pun, very green. Give me Navy. I got them going to 8-0.
He said green.
Hey, Squid, get the kazoo out of your fucking throat, dude. Jesus Christ.
It's not in my throat. Anyway.
Who the fuck is it? I don't want to know. Is this related to the porta potty incident?
No. I mean, if you want to call it that, there was a kazoo being played in there, but we'll leave it at that.
Bullshit. There was not a kazoo. Why would anybody be playing a kazoo in the porta potty?
Shut up. Well, I'll tell you.
Riddle me that one, Batman. All right.
Yeah, anyway, here's your
Fine.
Yeah, we're moving on. Here's Indiana versus the month of October, or I guess no, it is. It's going to be the month of November now. Ooh, they might be even worse off now. I think Indiana's going to beat the ever living life out of Maryland. Unfortunately, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, I mean, shit, you can only stomp on a pumpkin so much. I mean, that's what Maryland is at this point. They've been getting stepped on and stepped on and stepped on. And now they're running into a buzzsaw that's smoking a cig pack of Big Ten fucking cigarettes. Kurt Signetti, I think they're going to hang 50 on Maryland. I really do.
All right. Well, there you go. I think that's all that needs to be said there. If you don't hear me give my thoughts, just assume that I agree with Red.
Oh, so I speak for you now?
Yeah. Yeah, you should feel happy about that. Not for all cases, unless I disagree with you.
You're gonna regret it.
Hey, you want to see a toilet bowl? Not necessarily. It might not be a toilet bowl necessarily, but I consider it one. SEC edition here. Mississippi State versus Arkansas. Both teams daggum 0-4 in the SEC. Arkansas somehow a 4.5-point favorite at home. I think whichever team loses this one is probably your worst team in the conference, except for Kentucky. It's going to be a good quarterback battle, I think. Blake Shapen versus Taylor Green. I think this will kind of be your classic 4:00 SEC shootout. Oh, it's tough for me to say. Very, very tough for me to say. But considering it's SEC, I'll give my opinion first. I think the Piggies are going to get their first one here. I think they're going to get the win over Mississippi State, sort of in the same fashion that Mississippi State's always used to getting. And heartbreaking loss. Now, I do think it's going to be one of those where, like, State kind of crawls their way back, makes it close at the end because Arkansas is used to self-mutilating. But I think Arkansas barely. What do you think?
I'm guessing this is the football game being played in the porta potty now because this is bad, dude. This is fucking. Yeah, give me Hog City. They're gonna get one off on Mississippi State. Winner gets the porta potty seat.
He's gonna see the context of this, and he's gonna come back the next week and be like, "I apologize for everything."
Good. I want to know. Because you won't tell me on air, I'm going to keep teasing it, and then
I can't. It's not. I won't. It's I can't. Remember, there's a big difference.
He can. He just won't.
Okay. Well, here's your context. World's largest outdoor cocktail party, Georgia versus Florida. 3:30 as always on ABC. Everybody knows you got to be pretty hype about this one. It's a big time rivalry. One is good, one's terrible. You never know what's going to happen either way. Remember, DJ Lagway was beating these Bulldogs for at least a little while before Georgia eventually got it together. We could see a similar scenario here because Georgia loves to play with their food, especially in rivalry games. But Georgia's going to Georgia. The Mickey is going to mouse. They're going to find a way to win it, as they always do. I can't even reverse jinx it. Florida sucks.
Yeah, I will go ahead and just say this right now. I don't care what Florida is going to do in the 2 weeks leading up to this game after firing, how did you say it? Billy Napier. Yeah, this is going to be an absolute ass whipping in Jacksonville. I don't know why you even bother meeting on neutral side. At least meet in the swamp. Give yourself a chance. Good Lord, it's going to be a blowout. Georgia wins.
Womp womp. They just find a way to win. That's the best way of putting it, unfortunately.
This is like Stevie Wonder finding a way to win without a cane, though. Like, this is going to be such an easy game for Georgia to win. It's not even going to be funny.
More than likely, yes. Let's see. You guys tell us before we get on out of here. There's a bunch of games. You guys, if you want to send a super chat or something, tell us which game you want us to cover. That would go a long way. But in the meantime, I guess we'll go ahead and cover the big one here on ABC. I don't know if Fowler and Herbstreit is commentating this one or not, so that should tell you everything how I need to know about how I feel about this one. But here it is. I guess a lot of our season depends on how this one goes. Dark mode has been whipped out officially on our end. We're wearing the black uniforms and everything. It's our first night kickoff in quite a long time, actually. 7:30 on ABC, Oklahoma and Tennessee. Both teams are 6-2, and their destiny lies ahead depending on the result of this game. If Oklahoma wins, they control their destiny for the playoffs. Same thing goes for Tennessee. So this is a very, very important game for both squads. Tennessee is coming in as a 2.5-point favorite here at home in Knoxville. It's very tough for me to call, but I like us in this battle only because I know I can trust my quarterback to do what he needs to do to win this ball game. Because here's the thing. I would rather have an offense that I can trust rather than a defense, because in an offense you can trust, in clutch ball situations, they can go down the field and get the game-winning score. So we could definitely see that here. Of course, we're going to find a way to make John Mateer look like he got all of his swagger back. We're going to make sure he looks like he has 3 hands instead of 1. So that's going to be very, very fun in the process. But I do think Tennessee is going to hold on. I think they'll survive and thrive. And at the end of the day, that's the name of the game. There you go.
Boomer Sooner.
Okay, why?
Look, okay.
if you're gonna say it, at least explain why.
Okay, here's why. All right, you're like I told you, Tennessee's. No, I just dropped the super chat to maybe stop my thought for a second. I'm sorry.
It's you said like that's not going to make me crash out if you pick against Tennessee. I don't. Yeah,
no,
well,
I'm not. That's not what's making me giggle. It's not that. Look, Tennessee's defense looked absolutely dog shit against Kentucky, and I got a feeling that if somebody is going to absolutely tank the Noles season, not the Noles, the Volunteers season. What the fuck am I thinking here?
The Tank Noles.
Tank Noles.
Nice.
God damn. I am a lost cause tonight, boys. If anybody's going to tank Tennessee's season before Vanderbilt, it's going to be Oklahoma. That's my it's going to be them. If it's not them, then Vanderbilt's going to be the one to do it.
Florida's on the schedule, but you go ahead.
Florida's fucking lost cause. I don't care if it's in the swamp or not. It's a lost cause.
You're never going to learn. No, this is. He's going to make this mistake he's going to make this mistake in week 14. Michigan's a lost cause. Who cares about him? The Ohio State's going to be at the Everett. You're doing it again. I'm just telling you. But go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
I was only going to say that Oklahoma's defense, I think, is going to put up a little bit more of a fight than we're anticipating. And I think Tennessee's defense is going to collapse like wet toilet paper. That's why I got the Sooners. But you didn't have to bring up fucking Michigan.
I think it's warranted after picking against
No, it's not fucking warranted.
Anyway, we do have some super chats here. Wild Dog 33 with the 2 says New Mexico State versus Western Kentucky. Now, it is worth noting that Western Kentucky is now bowl eligible. They actually became bowl eligible last week. So good for them. Good job, Western Kentucky. But in case you're wondering, here's the battle in question. 3-4 New Mexico State, 6-2 Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers are coming in as 9.5-point favorites. McIver's a beast. Give me the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, give me the Tops. I mean, New Mexico State struggled hard last week against Missouri State in Week 9 Conference USA. So it's going to be, I think, a blowout. West Kentucky all over. They did. Now, the Tops did struggle against Louisiana Tech. I'll admit that, but not going to be meh.
Right.
What
Dumb Gamers 22 at the 5 says, "Hey Squid, was it a woman or a man playing that kazoo in the porta potty incident?" Red can tell you all about it in his public apology. Monk Velic with the 2 says, "There's a conference championship this week. West." Oh, that's true. That is true.
Pac-12 championship game 1. Game 1, I might say.
Game 1. You are absolutely right about that. And not only that, but you'd expect for this pile of aides to be on the old faithful CW network. No, they got this on CBS at 7:30.
What?
Yeah, I know. No, that's 4-4 Washington State and 1-7 Oregon State.
No.
Oh my goodness!
Are they dragging Brad Nessler out to fucking Oregon State?
I don't know what they're doing.
Oh my god!
Whatever they're doing, this is cinema.
Sickos rejoice.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got Washington State in a blowout. Don't think it's going to be close. Eckhouse is the real deal when he's putting all of his effort out there. I've got them winning big.
I think Wazoo takes game 1, but then I think Oregon State might sneak up on them on game 2. They could split the series. We'll see. Are we talking about football still or baseball? I don't know anymore.
We're talking about something. That's all I know.
Yeah, talking about something, all right. Involves porta potties, I guess, for some fucking reason.
UTEP versus Kennesaw State, says Sonny 360 with a 2. All right, real quick.
They already know without having to look at the game.
Yeah, I mean, Kennesaw State's going to win this, but it is worth noting this game does kick off in less than a day. It's a Tuesday night brawl, so I'll probably be reacting to this live on Tart Area Tuesdays tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. It's not even going to be close.
No, it's going to be a fucking massacre. I mean, UTEP is as always is a tire fire. Kennesaw State has gotten their shit together after a rough season last year, so. Yeah. Enjoy the free win, I guess. I don't know. They might actually be a dark horse to make the conference championship game come December. By the way,
if Malachi Nelson would quit turning the freaking ball over, then maybe it would be a better game. But unfortunately, that's just not how it works.
Yeah, no shit. 8 touchdowns, 9 picks, dude. Why are you on the fucking field?
I don't know.
That's a bench.
Hey, but he did beat Sam Houston. Remember that?
Yeah, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, no,
that was Sicko's Bowl. But that was Sicko's Bowl 1. Where are we on Sicko's Bowl 3 and 4 and 5? I gotta figure out which one's gonna be.
Hey, they could go 0-12. They could be your new Kent State of the season, new Kenny Burns of the year.
No one can ever be Penn.
All you need is somebody with credit card fraud, and then bam.
Phil Longo, ladies and gentlemen, he might be able to pull that off.
Oh, while we wait for potentially more super chats asking for more games, we'll do this one real fast because this is where game day's heading, so it is absolutely worth noting this Big 12 showdown between two ranked squads. Number 17 Cincinnati, the Bearcats have really risen to the stakes here. 7-1, 5-0 in the Big 12 up against number 24 Utah. And despite being 3-2 in the Big 12 and 6-2 overall, they look like one of the most formidable forces in the conference right now. It's going to be monstrous to witness this battle. They're a 9.5-point favorite at home, but knowing Cincinnati, Cincinnati is one of the clutchest teams in the country right now. Brendan Sorsby, he is one guy that you always want to watch, and he is going to make this a battle, I think. Give me Cincinnati to cover, and not only that, give me Cincinnati to win outright. I think the Bearcats. I think the Bearcats go on the road and do it. And Utah looks really good. Don't get me wrong. They do. They look really, really good. But the problem is, whenever it comes to these teams that have these defenses that are sometimes, at least formidable defenses, Utah's offense sort of struggles, and I've seen that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I think
give me the Bearcats as well here. I mean, not only the fact that Utah has had some struggles at times this year on their defense, and their offense has been less than effective in certain moments. The Bearcats are just so complete right now. They are white hot. Sorsby has really come into his own. He's at full force right now. 20 touchdowns, only 1 interception. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah, who knows?
Going into week 10? That is unheard of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who knows? By the end of the season, they could bring on Luke Fickell as an analyst.
Oh, boy. I don't think they'd be mad to have him back, though. The Cincinnati loves Fickell. They still love Fickell.
As head coach. You don't want him back as head coach.
No, they would. I think they would take him back as head coach if things don't pan out with the current guy. Shit. He took him to the goddamn playoffs. Okay, that school owes him big.
It's a whole new world of the Big 12 chaos conference for you. But here you go. I'll let you have your victory lap here as we wrap things up. Ohio State and Penn State. You already know how this one's going to go. I don't think there's really much of a discussion needed. It's your average noon kickoff. I don't even know why they're going to try and hype up this one, because one's the number 1 team in the land and the other is that, whatever you call that. So go on ahead. Give us your thoughts. They're 20.5-point favorites. Go ahead.
I got one sentence only. The beatings will continue until morale improves. That's it.
Well, there you go. Explain it the best way possible. Yeah, Ohio State wins. They win big. Pretty much put a cherry on the doo-doo Sunday that is Penn State's football season.
They're not playing Indiana, honey. They're playing Penn State.
They will be next week.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, they got to play the number 1 team this week. Then they got to play the number 2 team the following week. Yeah, great luck.
Yeah.
Spectacular luck even. They're going to have a fun time. I already know it.
Yeah,
Well,
Penn State, you are totally cooked. 100%.
Yeah,
No, Zep. We're not even going to. No, Zep, shut the fuck up. Do not finish your thought. Don't you dare. No.
Of all the years to pick
No.
Penn State to grab the
No.
upset, it would be
No.
really funny if this
No.
were the year, huh?
No, it's not happening. No. Put that thought away.
Boy, imagine if this were the year that it happens. Okay, anyway, fever dreams aside, I feel like that's where we should go ahead and put an end to this show.
Okay.
We went a little overboard on the time, but we all had a great time, and that's what matters. We had a very, very long week, and I'm sure as with every single week here, because again, we make this mistake time and time again. Where we look at the slate from up and down, and we're like, "Oh, this looks like a bunch of blowouts," and then we have a bunch of really, really good games, a lot of upsets, a lot of high quality, fun battles that unfold. You never really know what's going to happen with college football, so get ready for some college football action. Is really all that's left to say. So, Red, I'll let you say your piece, and then we'll call it a show.
Thank you for joining us. My next video will be out, I believe, by Wednesday if everything gets played right. And then I'll stream a football game this Saturday. Don't know what yet. I'm thinking Cincinnati. I'm thinking something. It'll be something in the evening for sure. But yeah, appreciate you having me on the show. I'm excited to know what the fuck this goddamn porta potty story is all about briefly. And then I'm going to go get ice cream with my girlfriend after. So
lucky.
Yeah.
Getting ice cream with your girlfriend must be nice. But I will recommend you that you might want to go do that first and then learn about the porta potty story. But that's, again, completely up to your jurisdiction.
I can handle it. I'm a man.
I guess so. And you might be 40, somewhere around that range.
Big
all right, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
Jump scare Red with your VTuber model. Oh, do you want to see my VTuber model? Ooh. Should we show him?
No,
we shouldn't show
him.
No, he's going to be traumatized enough.
You shouldn't show me.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you all for being on here tonight. As always, y'all are great, phenomenal people. Thank you all for tuning into this show. We'll see you all next week with another grand episode of the FBS Report. I'll see you all tomorrow on Tard Area Tuesdays over on Squidtard. And then, as always, I'll be live Saturday night for Oklahoma, Tennessee. Chaos will release sometime later on this week. I can't give you an official date on that. Just know it'll come out sometime this week. So, guys, that'll be it for tonight. We'll see you all next time. And, of course, as always, power to Tard Area, and then whatever his catchphrase is.
If you want to find the Wolverines, look in a porta potty. Have a good night.
Shut up.